Hi, everybody. Mike from GoManDo here. I don't know if you've ever done this before. I hurt my back. Like, I was taking the Christmas decorations down and stuff, and I had these bunch of heavy boxes, and I was moving them, carrying them around, and then, like, 10 minutes after I was doing that, I was sitting down or I was doing something, and I, like, leaned over to grab something or stood up or whatever, and when I did that, my back totally went out of me. I just tweaked something. I don't know what that is, but man, that's like 2 days ago, and it still hurts like a son of a bitch, and when I move certain ways, it just the more active I am, the more I walk and more I do this, the better it gets and the looser it seems to get, but my gosh, that was, I mean, I was like an invalid for a day and a half there. I couldn't even hardly barely move. It was crazy. I don't know if you guys ever done that before, but, it was wild stuff. I watched our um, I gotta stop saying, I was watching the last video this morning, and I say in it about 10 million times, so that's, not good. But in the last video, I was talking about my snorkel equipment to, Indonesia when I go to Indonesia in March, and I said that I was gonna order a dive bag, and went on Amazon, they had my my fins and all that stuff and everything came to, like, 21 inches. This is 24 inches. So there's enough room in there for the mask and the fins and the snorkel and the whole stuff. So I ordered these guys here, and I'm gonna take one of these with me when I go down there, when I go out there, and they sent it. It was a 2-pack. You couldn't get them by themselves, and I had needed to have this particular size, so I got 2 of them. I'll do something else with the other one. So I'm good to go for that stuff, and I just gotta figure out how to put it in my luggage and make it work right, and we'll be aces in. Alright, so today is, a couple of days after the ice shooting in Minneapolis, where the, woman got shot because she was supposedly trying to drive over an ICE agent. But, the more I watched those videos from all the different angles, and you could see that she had backed up, she turned the thing to the left, backed up, and then she cut it all the way to the right to go down the street and take off, and that's when that guy was standing there, and he shot her through the windshield, and that just I understand that people are against these protesters, and these protesters are, disrupting whatever they're disrupting, and, but to be shot like that, it just didn't seem. I mean, it was to me, it was pretty obvious that he shot her for no real reason. He wasn't about to get run over. He just shot her because he shot her, because he was probably angry or his ego was bruised or whatever, and then you could see in the video, one of the videos after he shot her, he kinda had a little dance in his step, and he was going down there like he was happy about what he did. I don't know. It was kind of a fucked up deal, and that kinda hit me the wrong way. I mean, I'm not against these ICE agents, except where they're wearing masks and, going if they were just like regular cops where they act normally, I wouldn't be against them, but, and I'm not really against them, but I don't like the mask and all that crap, all the stuff that they wear. They cover their whole face up so you can't see who they are. But that especially, was bad because of the way it went down and what they said, that she was trying to run him over and he was, fighting for his life or whatever. It just hit me the wrong way. Obviously, in my mind, murder, so it's kind of a messed up thing. So how do you stop that stuff? How do you stop all that crap from happening? These law enforcement guys, they have, qualified immunity, so they don't have to be held responsible for anything they do. They don't have to answer for anything. They can beat the hell out of you, rough you up, shoot you, do this, do that, and they will not get in trouble. I don't think the answer is just to get rid of qualified immunity. If you did that, then you'd have so many lawsuits and all this stuff, and that's the reason they did that, is to stay away from frivolous lawsuits. But they gotta get rid of immunity somehow, and they gotta change some other stuff, so it's you can't just, sue for no real good reason. So, hopefully, they can work that stuff out down the road, because I'm old enough, look at me, I'm 1,000 years old. When I was a kid, when I was a young guy, and cops didn't have immunity, and cops were like they were respected, they were respectful. It was a whole different gig back then than it is now. It seems it's completely different now than it was when I was younger, and now they've got this immunity, and they act like, you know you guys know what I'm talking about. You ever get pulled over, a cop comes up, he's angry for no reason, and they just act like a-holes all the time, and I'm thinking to myself, I mean, what they're in fear of their lives. "Oh, I was scared, my life, my life, my life." What the fuck? I mean, so this stuff, there's gotta be, and it's gonna change because you can see it getting worse and worse and worse, and it's gonna come to a head. Something bad, real bad is gonna happen. It's gonna come to a head, and then changes are gonna be made. So we're all gonna watch that happen. You can bet your ass it's gonna happen, and probably not that far down the road. But something's got to be done about this immunity, and something's got to be done about the laws that allow people to sue law enforcement. So that's going to be interesting to see how all that happens. Okay, I got a. Oh, sorry, Nelson. I was messing you up again. I just made my tea, you guys. Let's see how incredibly hot it still is or isn't. I got two tea bags in there this morning, and that's both green tea. No mint tea, no white tea, both green tea today. Drinkable, still freaking hot though. Okay, so I was booking my stuff for Bali. I'm gonna fly into Bali. Bali is an island, and then there's the cities and the airports and this one place that's down in the south of Bali, and right next door to Bali is another little island called Lombok. And there's a lot of stuff to do over there, snorkeling and waterfalls and mountains and this, that, and the other thing. And I want to go there because it's a cool place, much different than Bali. Bali being kind of a super busy place, and Lombok being less busy, which is more my speed. So I went online last week and I was booking stuff, and so I didn't take into account the fact that when you land, and I'm landing at like into that town in Bali where the airport's at like 4 o'clock in the afternoon or something, 4:30, something like that. So by the time I get through immigration, this, that, and the other thing, it's gonna be dark, and so I had booked a room over in Lombok, not realizing that you gotta go from here, you gotta drive to the coast, you gotta get on a ferry that only runs certain hours, and if I get there too late, it's not gonna be running, and then you gotta go across over to Lombok and then get another grab or taxi or whatever you're gonna take, some kind of transportation, which is all over the place there, and then go from there to the hotel that I booked. So, I booked, and I booked for the night that I landed, and I was gonna stay at this place for a couple nights and move around to a different place in Lombok, then come back to Bali for 2 or 3 nights and then get my flight home. So, I booked online, and then I realized what I did the next day. I was like, "Uh-oh," after I was looking up about the transportation over across and the ferries and all that stuff, and I said, This is probably a bad thing." So I contacted the guy and I said, "Hey, I want to cancel this particular reservation and change my dates." And so they sent me back. They said, "Well, we'll be happy to do that, but we're going to charge you one night. It's non-refundable." Even if all I wanted to do was I booked there for 2 nights. I wanted to take those 2 nights and move everything out one day. Give me time to go across that ferry and all that kind of stuff. I needed a little time to get from one place to another. I've never been there, don't know anything about it. So said, "I want to do that." "Oh, well, we're gonna have to charge you a non-refundable fee for one of the nights." And this is a higher end place, the Oberoi Beach Resort in Lombok. And so, it was expensive, and so I got back to the guy and I said, "Hey, all I wanna do is, amend my booking, and are you still gonna charge me?" "Oh, yeah, we're gonna have to charge you," and I got back to him yesterday or 2 days ago, and I told him, "Sorry to hear that I can't amend my stay without incurring the one-night deposit penalty. I will take that penalty under protest and find lodging elsewhere with one of your high-end competitors." So, that's what I said back to him. That was on Friday, and then "Dear Mr. Michael McMillan, thank you for your reply. I apologize that we might have misunderstood your message. We noted that you actually wish to modify the date of your booking. We are pleased to inform you can modify your booking up to blah, blah, blah. We will use the one-night deposit against your stay on the modified date. Once again, I apologize for miscommunication and the inconvenience. Please do not hesitate to contact us for further assistance. So, and this was a different fella that got back to me. The other guy had a different name because I remember because I emailed him twice, and this guy's a different dude. So I'm gonna get back to them and tell them thank you. I wish to, and then I'll just make that change where I just want to change it. I'm gonna take it from whatever they say Tuesday, Wednesday. I'm gonna make it Wednesday, Thursday. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that with them, and that'll be good. Then I got to work on all my other stuff. I'm getting a little confused with all the ferries and the transportation and the towns and the 10 million different lodging choices that you have. It's a lot. It's not like I'm having a harder time with this Indonesia than I am with all the other places that I've been to in that region of the world for some reason. I don't know what it is, but I don't know if I should just go there and not reserve anything. I've always been the kind of guy that reserves all my stuff ahead of time. I make all my plans. Okay, I'm going to stay in this hotel. Boom, boom. I'm going to move to there. I'm going to stay here, and I do all that stuff and get all that ahead of time. And I'm wondering if I should maybe just do it little, free and easy this time and not do that. So I'm gonna do some more research and find out what I can do, and away we go there. Oh, so it was a good weekend this past weekend. Today is Monday, Nelson, correct? Yep. Today's Monday. This past weekend we had college football semifinals. Miami whipped up on whoever they played, and Indiana beat the crap out of whoever they played. Who'd Indiana play? Forget who they played, but so we got Miami and Indiana in the championship game. What's that, in a couple of weeks or something? And then it was also wild card weekend um, in the NFL, and we had some good games all weekend long, and so that was fun to see. That's one of the best weekends of the year when you got the semis, you got the college football semifinals, and you got wild card weekend in the NFL. That's a great weekend, and then next weekend is going to be really nice because you're going to have whatever they call next weekend in the NFL, and then the week after that you'll have the championship game in college football, and then the conference finals in the NFL. So I'm looking forward to all that stuff, and hopefully my back is going to get better here because man, I don't know what the hell I did, and I don't know. Like 2 weeks ago, I was I was eating lunch or I was reading something and I was leaned up against something like this and I was like this, and then all of a sudden my shoulder it got all whacked out, and it was whacked out for a few days, and it was hard to do anything with it. And I was like, what the hell's going on? Then shortly after that, this back thing happened. So I don't know what's going on with me. Maybe I should start exercising or something. For God's sakes. I mean, I'm not getting any younger, right? Ugh, okay. Well, and so podcast update, Nelson. I got a little note here, podcast update. We're gonna have some small changes coming up, because I've got Nelson, who's my local guy who does the filming and can do editing and shorts and this, that, and the other thing. And then I also, at the same time I was talking to Nelson, I was talking to an actual company that does podcasts. And we had a Zoom meeting, and we're having a Zoom meeting today at 3:00. Me, you, and them. And we're gonna figure out how we're gonna do this going forward. And they're a professional podcast company, and I'm looking forward to working with them because they kinda know what they're doing. I don't have a clue what I'm doing as far as this podcast stuff. I mean, I know how to do all this stuff, but as far as marketing it and this, that, and the other thing, and, putting it on all the platforms that it needs to go on and this and that, so they know all that stuff, Nelson, and they'll be able to help us a lot with that. So, I'll keep you informed on that stuff when it comes up. We're having our Zoom meeting at 3:00 later on today, and, I'm excited about what's gonna happen in the future here. We're getting there, folks. Taking us a while. We need to I wanna get maybe down the road somewhere to here, get another co-host or a rotating co-host or whatever, and then I definitely wanna have guests. We'll keep you informed. We'll keep you in tune on all the way down the road. We'll keep you apprised of what's happening, and we'll make it happen. Alright, guys. For Nelson, for Mike, GoManDo, take care. Have a great day. See you next time around.